appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in as well. Nice crowd we got in here tonight on Tuesday. I'm just saying, it's a Tuesday. It's pretty good for a Tuesday. Just saying. By the way, share the show, share the clips that we make of the show, and that helps us, you know, draw more people in and all that kind of stuff. We're on the road to 60K. Yes, I'm still on. I've only 9 minutes. I've only gone 9 minutes long right now. All right. Look, I know that you guys think that a lot of this election stuff, 2020, has been asked and answered and asked and answered and asked and answered and asked and answered. But that's because you don't watch enough Silk at Frank TV. This is where Silk goes over proof of voter fraud with the Dominion machines. And that's a diamond with Silk's hair over it or something. And this lady, I don't know, I don't know, she's making her little videos or something. But this is, this should be fairly short and relatively palatable. I don't know if she's just playing a clip of some of this shit or if she's got some say on it. But this is a formerly of Diamond and Silk, Just Silk. Here we go. Oh, God damn it, I forgot. This is these videos will not play on copy on non-Chrome browsers. Fucking, that's the quality of Frank TV. Jesus. All right, here we go. So pause, turn on the audio, back to where we were, and shit, and scene. Here we go. This is now we're back to where we were. Yes, Diamond died allegedly of COVID, and because they won't say, and I mean, I'd say vaccine interaction, but that would be mean. Okay, here we go.
Voters went to the polls to vote on a local county commissioner race in District 2 between Lauren Alexander, Marshall Orson, and Michelle Longspears.
And with choices like that, I don't know how do you stop people from busting down the door to get them elected in a local thing.
The end result from the Dominion machine showed Lauren Alexander received 34.67% of the vote, Marshall Orson receiving 41.35% of the vote, and Michelle Longspears receiving 23.98% of the vote. In Georgia, if one candidate doesn't get above 50% of the vote total, a runoff election is automatically held between...
I'm really enjoying the severity of this. Local elections being what they are. Let's hear what the shenanigans were.
The two top candidates, meaning Michelle Longspears was cut out of the race. But Michelle Longspears felt odd about the numbers, so she visited different precincts to double-check the tallies. Guess what? She noticed that in some precincts she didn't receive a single vote. But how is that possible that a candidate with 24% of the vote total finds precincts where she didn't receive a single vote?
The problem was with the vote tallying, not the machines themselves.
While statistically alarming, the real surprise came when she realized there was not one vote cast for her in her own precinct.
By the way, did you notice that part? Hold on. Did you notice the... Hold on. Watch what... Can you guess why they breeze past the headline?
Precincts where she didn't receive a single vote. While statistically alarming, the real surprise came when she realized there was not one...
Anybody see the problem with the idea that Dominion is trying to attack Trump and whatnot? You see why they put this up really quickly and put the line up the picture in the center with the other stuff going on and put receiving over 2,000 early votes, but 0 votes on election day. The 2,000 early votes is in the center, and you kind of, the way you frame this, so yeah. Fuck me. Yeah, it's a primary, and it's a Dem primary, and yeah.
Vote cast for her in her own precinct. The same one where she and her husband voted for herself. Spears...
Dun, dun, dun! Gia, DeKalb Commission candidate, asked for hand count. And then what happened?
Immediately demanded a hand recount of the results and got one. On June 1st, the results were released, and the difference between the Dominion machine count and the hand count was shocking. After the hand count, Lauren Alexander gained 355 votes. Orson lost 1,298 votes, and Spears actually gained 3,620 votes, making her the new runoff candidate.
Right. Yeah, and did you notice they did a hand recount, and it wasn't the machines that fucked up. It's not that people voted in the machine and her name didn't show up, which is what they're trying to teach you about this. What they're trying to get you to think is that people went to the Dominion machine, the voting machine, and they put her name in, and she did, and it wouldn't vote for her. It spit out this paper vote, and then these dumbasses in this district didn't even look to see if it actually showed that they voted for who they said they voted for, which you can do. And they just went over and put it in an envelope and fucked off. And they, or they threw it in the trash or something like that. Do you get this? Do you get that a hand recount solved this? And this is a tabulation issue, not a vote counting issue.
And here's the best part.
Here's the best part.
When you add them all up, the hand count shows 2,810 votes more than the Dominion machines reported on the 24th. This is huge.
No, the tabulators did, which means somebody in one of these districts was either not feeding the batches through or doing something else. But the ballots existed. This blows up all of their argument. This is huge.
And the small county commission.
Also, why are you showing the voting machines? This is about tabulation. If the voting machines were the problem, those votes wouldn't have even they wouldn't exist to be found.
Race with 15,500 votes total. The Dominion machine tally was short by nearly
tally. That's the first time we hear the word tally.
3,000 votes. What does that say about all the other races that were conducted?
It says that after a hand recount, you would get a closer number. One of our monitors discovered 9,000 error in the DeKalb County hand count. One batch was labeled 10,000 for Biden and 13 for Trump. An improbable margin even to DeKalb. The actual count for the batch was 1,000 for Biden and 13 for Trump. One batch was labeled 10,707. Yeah, and they... all right, let me look at this real quick. So... what is this? What happened here? Somebody did the recount on this. What they actually added and what they got in the actual count of the batch in voting and everything was true and correct and right and real and normal and matched up with reality. It was 1,081 in that batch for Biden and 13 for Trump. But on the box, it said 10,707 because somebody wrote an extra zero or some shit or thought it was 10,000 instead of, they thought it was 10,081 and they were like, no, it's 70. And so they wrote 10,000. Like somebody just barfed up a zero in there, but wrote it on the box. Didn't change the account. Didn't do fuck all. Didn't change shit. This is a great example of where possibly Rudy Giuliani, being a complete lying piece of shit, and Jenna Ellis and the rest of those crowd, as she's, as he's farting COVID on her, got the idea that there were 10,000 dead people that voted or whatever, because written on a box was that 10,000 number, when in the box, what was counted, what actually went through, what was actually entered into the record, and what was actually the actual vote and the actualness of it was 1,081 and 13 for Trump.
On these very same machines.
Dun, 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 dun. Do the Dominions create the labels that are on the outside of the box, or is that a person writing a number on the outside of the box? That's so.
This is proof that the machines cannot be trusted.
Why? Did the machines write in magic marker on the top of the box?
If Spears had not sounded the alarm, no one would have ever known.
No, it was such an egregious error that it was obvious that a box of them hadn't been tabulated yet, or maybe wouldn't have been had they not asked for it. That's why you ask for a hand recount. By the way, when they got a hand recount in all these areas that they insisted on, same kind of shit, Biden kept gaining votes. That's why they were going, stop the steal, stop the count. They switched from stop the count to stop the steal because they thought, oh, fuck, we're behind now. So stop the steal, because if you stop the count right now, we can't even catch up. We're not going to, but we can't even, yeah.
No one would have ever known if she would have went.
She would have went, and we would have had a different Democrat running in that primary. I know, you must be all torn up about it.
So all of those different precincts to check to see well, how many votes did I actually get here? How is it that a person that run for office and not receive a single vote in the precinct that her and her husband voted in? How do you?
Right. Because they posted them. And in this particular case, the anomaly was a visible one. And so they asked for a recount and they got one. And she ended up, the ballots existed. And there were no magic fucking Chinese ballots that were printed in Beijing and bounced off a fucking Spanish satellite and were full of panda jizz and bamboo shards that were hidden in a fucking warehouse, creating more votes for the other person running in that. It was a simple mechanical error. Somebody didn't run some boxes through or thought they already had. Humans didn't tabulate stuff, or their tabulator was down. They were going to get to it later. Somebody didn't. Whatever the issue was, once they did the hand recount, she gained more votes. And the reason, by the way, the Dominion votes thought that most of those votes didn't exist is because nobody had run them through the fucking machine. The machines didn't lie. The machines never got the input. Because if they had, they would have either, and there was an egregious issue, they would have counted them for the other fucking guy. When this dickhead says there were like 2,000 plus 2,900 votes that the Dominion machines didn't even see, that's almost the entirety of the votes that were missing. That's exactly it. Good Lord.
Do you not receive that vote?
Yeah, it's a fucking mystery. I'm gonna go with a human being didn't put they had a tabulator problem and they said, we can't tabulate right now, our tabulator's down, so put them in that box, and then they didn't tabulate them. That's probably, let me guess.
What happened to those at least 2 votes?
She got them, and she also got thousands of others because of the tabulation issue in that particular district of, by the way, tens of thousands of voters.
In that precinct, you all.
Yeah.
This is more proof of election fraud in my...
No, it's actually the opposite. It's proof that there isn't any election fraud because, again, if they had created fake ballots to fill in other people or what have you, and I don't know why they're trying to rig a Dem primary, we run everything. Don't we just install our people? Isn't the deep state picking all the Democrats and just making them happen? And they obviously they would have black helicoptered her the fuck out in the middle of nowhere, dropped her off in the goddamn ocean if she wasn't supposed to be the choice, right? Isn't that how everything works? It's a giant fucking dipshit conspiracy. If the Dominion machines hadn't printed out these ballots, then and they hadn't been able to be tabulated, she never would have fucking seen them. They wouldn't have existed. They couldn't run them through a machine if they hadn't been created in the first place. And they didn't find a bunch of fake fucking ballots. They found none. They just found that somebody, for some reason, didn't count a few boxes of ballots. And by the way, now that we know that one of those boxes holds about 1,000 to 1,500 ballots. Remember that kerfuffle with the box that's allegedly had 10,000 votes for Biden and 13 for Trump? Remember that? And it actually holds about 1,019 for Biden and 13 for Trump. That was the whole deal. Remember that box? Okay, that means 3 boxes weren't counted. 2,900 fucking votes, dum-dum. 3 boxes. Out of all these fucking boxes in these districts during a giant primary, somebody didn't run 3 boxes through, or let's just say 6 boxes or 8 boxes because it was a primary and they were in different areas. And by not running a box here or there, it spread out evenly where somehow she was diminished because of time of day, early votes weren't counted, or these boxes that were supposed to be counted that were early votes didn't get processed because everybody was just working with the day and she didn't end up getting her shit. Like, this is just fucking, I don't even know why. What am I doing?
Mike Lindell, he often tells this particular story.
That's because he's stupid. Because Mike Lindell is a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Asshole.
That's right.
On how this lady ran for office and come to find out.
She was running in a Democratic primary. Please continue.
She lost. They said she lost.
Mm-hmm.
And as she went around to the different precincts and a lot of precincts, and even the one that her and her husband voted in, there's no votes there.
Yeah, you do realize she didn't actually show up and knock on doors at these things and go, show me your voter rolls, and I want to see how many votes I got. She checked those precincts online with the count, and that's how she understood it was so egregious, because even the vote she and her husband had cast didn't show up in that area. So something was amiss. Most likely it was early votes not being counted because some boxes got set aside and nobody went through them. The other fucking dude, one woman lost some votes because they were counted wrong or they were double counted or something. The other guy gained votes and she gained a lot more.
For her. And it wasn't until she decided, oh, we're going to have to do a count here.
Yes, that's precisely what
we're going to have to do a hand count here.
Right. In which case, all of the other votes were real and some votes had not been counted. There were no magic digital votes with no paper trail. There was no fucking bullshit panda jizz ballots from outer space. There weren't any, like, yes, there was paper there. They recounted them and they got a new number that added to her total. They also did shit tons of recounts in Georgia as well that gave Biden more votes. Arizona, same thing.
And come to find out, 2,810 votes more was found in a hand count than what the machine, the Dominion machine, had previously reported.
Because they put it through the machine can't count stuff that's not put through it. These fucking boxes are set aside. I can't. It's so stupid. It's just so goddamn. It's so stupid. It's just like guys. It's so stupid. The whole thing is so stupid. It's like they don't even understand that, like, this very argument takes a huge shit on their whole sales pitch. Now, yeah. So I'm out of time. Otherwise, I would. There's so much to cover. So much. It's just took me. I know I went a half hour long, but good Lord. What's our lesson from today, though, kids? What can we learn today? Besides the new word is what's the big word that we could use? Trying. Yeah. Motherfucker, say trying again. Trying? Hashtag fucking trying. But meanwhile, what have we learned? The Republicans are beating the shit out of each other. They fired Kevin McCarthy and got Mike Johnson to do the exact same job, exactly the same way. Chip Roy and the rest of the Freedom Caucasians don't like him, what he's doing, any more than they like McCarthy, but they have to pretend to like it because it was them that fucked it up. That's fun. Also, the McCarthy is elbowing people in the hallways, and Mullen's trying to start fights with the head of the UAE, or the UAE, UAW. It would be very different if he tried to start a fight with the UAE, because that guy's pretty rich. He'd probably hire someone with golden gloves, literally, to fight him. And we also, speaking of golden gloves, we saw Biden get a solid gold hockey stick from the Las Vegas Golden Knights. I think it's solid gold. It's more than likely like double plated because it's got, I mean, that's insane. It's just crazy. JD Christie, thank you for the salty bonus. Venmo, if you like the characters doing stuff. With the AI conversation we had tonight, I think having a stunt robot in to talk about that was very helpful. But I think the word of the night is hashtag trying. And the thought of the night is, if the polls are as good for Republicans as they seem to think it is, or people say it is in the mainstream media, why are these motherfuckers beating the shit out of each other? Why are they threatening violence all the time? If you're winning, do you have to do that? Thank you, Alabama Warrior. I think that's AL Warrior. Is that what that is? Or is that your nickname or something? Either way, I'll just call you Alabama Warrior, just because Tommy Tuberville is a fucking asshole. Yeah, polls are stupid, especially right now. And I want you guys to just enjoy the reality versus tipsy LSD future that everybody seems to be dosing themselves on. Puck the like with a golden hockey stick. Look out. And Samuel L. Cupcake, I'm glad you like him. He likes you. And remember, say trying again, motherfucker. Just don't say the kidney. Don't do it. Just don't. It's not a good idea. It's just not. Can't even. No. No.